Funding for Schaefer-Ellis is provided by
Squarespace, the sponsor of today's video. 2025 was the year Sonic Racing Cross Worlds came out. Hell yeah, baby! I played this and had a ton of fun with it. I like the course themes, I like how many collectibles there are, I like the controls, the rival system is cool. You can play as Joker in the paddy wagon in Minecraft world. Pretty fun for my first Sonic racing experience. But I didn't necessarily have a lot of reasons to keep playing since there wasn't much to do outside of the regular racing, and I didn't have a single other friend who bought this so we could play online. As a result, I put more hours in the other mascot racers this year. Sorry Sonic fans, I promise I really liked this one. What else? New Jackbox was pretty fun. I don't know if there's a clear favorite game in here among my friends, but I'm pretty partial to the cookie one myself. I played some of Power Wash Simulator 2. Yep, that's more Power Wash Simulator alright. I also played 1 or 2 rounds of Peak. The rounds definitely go on way too long for my tastes, but it was still pretty fun. And nothing compares to the feeling of falling but catching myself on a cliff edge and just barely surviving, making it back to my friends who assumed I died in the most triumphant of manners. So yeah, that game is cool. I played a bit of Rift of the Necrodancer, pretty neat rhythm game. Fantasy Life is very impressive, if a bit too sprawling and overwhelming in terms of the things you can do, without doing a lot of those things particularly better than, say, Zelda or Animal Crossing. Ace Attorney 7 was a great time. I'm really glad that... Oh, wait a minute. Tragically, I got back into Fortnite because I had to get the General Grievous skin. And then the K-pop Demon Hunters collab kept me playing long after. These are all the skins I have. Somebody please help me. I'm about to declare bankruptcy. Metal Gear Solid Delta, a remake of one of my favorite games of all time, came out. So you better believe I didn't play it. I mean, what's the point? I just looked at it and said, yeah, I have the original, I'm alright. I don't really care to see what a Kojima-less version of MGS3 looks like. So does that mean I played Kojima's new game? Hey, what was Nintendo up to this year? They released an upgraded toaster that you can play games on. That's pretty cool. Finally, we have the technology to emulate Wario World, which for years has just kind of seemed like a fever dream to me that didn't actually exist. Now that I've actually played it for myself, it still feels like a fever dream that doesn't actually exist. Like, what exactly is going on here? You tell me. Anyway, a lot of Nintendo stuff I kind of skipped this year. I didn't really care about another Breath of the Wild era Hyrule Warriors, and Legends ZA didn't really interest me like the first Legends game did. I didn't buy the tech demo Nintendo charged $10 for, nor did I play the paraplegic basketball game. Oh no, how will my best of the year list ever recover? My friend accidentally bought the Mario Party DLC, so we gave that a go. That shit was awful. The 12 new Kirby levels were pretty decent, I guess. I didn't pick up that new Donkey Kong game. You know, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Yeah, it didn't seem worth it to me for some reason. I did pick up Galaxy 2 though, because I'm a pathetic little worm who can't resist having one of the top 2 best platformers ever on a modern system. You know, when I lay it all out like this, it seems like Nintendo didn't really do great this year. But I am leaving out heavy hitters like Metroid Prime 4. At long last, the 8-year wait is over, and guys, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't even finished the game yet. I got kind of bored. I mean, at its best, it's just on par with the games that released 2 decades ago, without feeling like an evolution for the series, like Dread did for 2D Metroid. At its worst, it just kind of baffles me. I do really like the bike and how it controls, but this desert was such a terrible idea since it unnecessarily pads out a series known for easily interconnected areas. In Prime 1, I go on an elevator and I'm somewhere else. What does the desert add? It's such an unnecessary, terrible pace breaker. I don't like the escort missions. I haven't liked a single NPC despite my best efforts to. Silux hasn't done anything yet, and I've heard from others that he still doesn't later on. I don't know, these are just my impressions as someone who's anywhere from 50 to 90% done with the game. It's not a review since I can't judge the full picture. But the fact that it's been over a month and I still haven't found the motivation to see the whole picture is kind of damning, no? There's a lot of fun, classic Metroid Prime gameplay to be had here, and if you think it's worse than Other M, you're kind of an idiot. That game doesn't even let you use an analog stick. But yeah, tragically, this might be the disappointment of the year for me. I mean, at least Mario Kart World is an actual evolution of the series when you're just playing it as a normal Mario Kart with 3-lap races on 30 courses. This is probably the game I put the most hours into this year. And I really did consider it for the list because the core gameplay is the best it's ever been. The rail grinding and wall riding feels amazing. The course selection is pretty strong. The character roster is so wacky and really overhated. I mean, what other game can you play as Cataquack and Conkdor? Come on, that's so fun! Mario Kart World is a phenomenal game when you're playing it the way God intended you to play Mario Kart. It's just, there's so much bullshit you gotta put up with. Which wouldn't be that big a deal if said bullshit wasn't justification for Nintendo charging $80 for it. The open world is so lame, and I'm not motivated to find all the P-switches to complete these ho-hum missions just to get dinky little stickers. Especially when you could have tied costumes and carts to progression in the open world instead. The battle mode is downright insulting. How hard would it have been to just give us an option to remove the timer and plop some classic maps into the open world instead of these unnecessary Super Nintendo course tributes? But I'm gonna be honest, I still would have put this game in my top 10 of the year if you just had the option to race online in a lobby with no intermissions. Just the option, Nintendo! I put over 700 hours into 8 Deluxe just from playing online with strangers. But I haven't even touched the online in this game for months. That's my favorite way to play Mario Kart. But I just find the intermissions so actively unfun compared to normal 3-lap gameplay that I just can't be bothered to pick this game up again unless my friends want to play. They've been gradually updating the game with cool new features like custom items and a map to track your P-switch progress. So some issues like the battle mode timer thing and the online lobby problem could be alleviated in the future. But right now they're not, so you don't make the list, Mario Kart World. I'm the biggest Mario Kart fan I know, and I can't even find a spot for you. That's how much Nintendo handicapped what could have been a generational game for no good reason. It's not bad though. I still kinda like it. And I love the character roster, so I'm still gonna make a video ranking them, don't worry. Alright, that's enough preamble. Let's talk about my 10 favorite games of the year that all conveniently cost less than $80 and are more worth your money as a result. Ball X Pit is a game where you go in a pit and there are balls and you shoot the balls at the enemies in the pit. That's kind of all there is to it. This is easily the simplest game to make my best of the year list, and quite frankly, I'm amazed at how well it's continuing to hold my attention. It's kind of like if Breakout met Vampire Survivors. You shoot balls towards the top of the screen, and there's a shit ton of enemies you gotta deal with. There's different types of balls and unlockable characters with unique attributes, but mostly, it's a pit with balls, dude. I don't know what else to tell you. It's so easy to get into a zen-like state playing this and trying to figure out the best build to take down certain levels. It's one of those games that keeps giving you that delightful, ever so satisfying feeling of, okay, just one more match and then I'm done. It's a pretty cheap game, and trust me when I say you will get your money's worth and then some. Oh shit, the farming portion! I didn't even mention there's a farming portion in this! Number 9. Blue Prince is a relentlessly addicting puzzle game where you have to get to the 46th room in this mysterious 45-room mansion. But every single day you try and get there, the room layout changes. And you gotta figure out where each room goes, carefully considering how the different rooms synergize with one another and balancing your inventory of keys and other goodies that you'll need to progress. There are so many secrets to uncover and lore-related discoveries that make this a blast to play for hours, even though functionally you're going through a lot of the same rooms over and over again. It's a game that does a lot with a little, however. I was super impressed with how well it kept my attention and how giddy I got over every newly discovered room type or unearthed secret. I really like the laboratory experiments, a big fan of that laboratory dude. I probably said more than enough, because it does pay to go into this game as blind as you can. Just prepare for a slightly unnerving, yet mostly pretty fun and enjoyable ride. Oh, I just got that. Blueprints. Like blueprints, because you're building a house, kind of. I really hope this title thing wasn't common knowledge already, because that would be really embarrassing for me. Dispatch is the first Telltale-like game I've ever tried out, where the story, and more specifically, your choices in it, matter greatly. This one's so cool. It's set up like a superhero cartoon, and it did a tremendous job of immersing me, to the point where it really felt like I was watching a TV show on my Steam Deck that just happened to have the protagonist make the same choices I would make. Before you ask, I dated Blonde Blazer, I chose the Moist Critical Bat and Waterboy for my team, and I ended up failing to mentor Invisigal, probably because I didn't want to f her, sorry. A lot of stretches of Dispatch are more interactive show than game, but the actual gameplay portions are simple but fun enough to make up for that. I love when one of my superheroes nails something they statistically shouldn't have completed, and the banter between these wacky goofballs is pretty endearing. Sometimes they go overboard with the crudeness in a way that's a little cringy, but for the most part, I really enjoyed the story and dialogue in this game. And the voice talent especially elevates it. This is probably one of my favorite performances from Aaron Paul. He doesn't have a hint of that Jesse Pinkman delivery that bled through in Todd Chavez and Powerplex. I really like how monotone, yet still invested he sounds in this. And it's really cool to have talent like Jeffrey Wright or Laura Bailey in a game that also goes out of its way to cast YouTubers and Twitch streamers that do a pretty good job. It's so surreal thinking about how I grew up watching Critical play the f***ass educational pumpkin game, and now I can play a game featuring him as a horny bat monster. What a special medium this is. I suppose I could do a second playthrough where I make different choices, but I don't think I could cut him from the team. Come on. What am I gonna do without hearing half man, half bat, all freak 50 times over the course of my playthrough? Dispatch is just super cool. Not the gamiest game out there, obviously, but an awesome interactive experience, and I need there to be a season 2, dude. Split Fiction is the latest fun as hell co-op experience from the creators of It Takes Two. I'm not sure I like this better than that game, but it is certainly a worthy successor that just keeps surprising you with new ideas in the gameplay and scenario departments. Like, this game seriously cannot turn it off. I try and tell it, okay, stop coming up with new creative ideas. There's too many to cram into one game. But damn it, it keeps them coming, and it's awesome. So the premise is that you play as Mio and Zoe, and they're both writers, but Mio's the grumpy one who doesn't like people, and Zoe's like, oh, come on, Mio, let's have some fun and junk. Oh yeah, Zoe is British. I didn't like that. I'll be the first to admit that the dialogue is not my cup of tea in this game, and the gameplay is really lucky it's so good, because boy do Mio and Zoe like to quip. A lot.
Such a ray of sunlight, aren't you? I'm already regretting this. That was epic.
Okay, so they get sucked into a big machine that makes your stories that you write a reality, so they have to live through each other's stories. And Mio is the edgy sci-fi writer who doesn't like Zoe and her bubbly fantasy stories. And she's gonna tell you how much she doesn't like them. A lot. Okay, I should focus on the gameplay if I'm trying to talk about this game in a positive light. Holy shit, dude, there's so much fun stuff here. Like I said, the variety is outstanding, and the way the puzzles are laid out to encourage teamwork and communication is wonderful. My favorite part of the game is this fantasy segment where Mio can transform into a big monkey, and then you just go through and it's like monkey time, like in Donkey Kong Bonanza, which we may or may not see later on this list. And then, guess what? You even meet, like, the Monkey King, and he does his Monkey King dance, and you gotta line up all the little monkeys or something. I'm just going off of memory. Jess and I beat this game like 6 months ago, but I'm pretty sure there were a bunch of little monkeys. There's also the level where you play as pigs, and then they get chopped up and become hot dogs. This game is awesome. Also, shout out to that one story Zoe wrote that you play through that's literally just kites. Like, the premise of the story is, what if there were kites? I don't know, Jess and I make fun of that story a lot. Like, wow. What if there were kites? It's still fun from a gameplay perspective, though. One last thing before I move on. The villain is really goofy and dumb in this, but mainly I just want to talk about the way he delivers his lines and how it reminds me of Jesse Pinkman. Now, when I say that, I don't mean his voice sounds like Jesse. I just mean listen to the inflections here.
We'll dominate the entire market. You three can go to hell. Ugh!
I don't know, is that not just the Jesse Pinkman way of screaming a line? How does his delivery remind me more of Jesse Pinkman than Robert Dispatch? Whatever, I'm rambling, let's talk about the next game. Or we could talk about Squarespace instead. New year, new Squarespace transitions, you know how it is. Squarespace is a wonderful online website builder that enables you to create beautiful websites for your business or personal hobby. I adore how easy they make it to showcase your expertise and engage clients with video content on your website. You can make stunning video libraries and even monetize your content by adding a paywall. Perfect for online courses, exclusive tutorials, and premium workshops. If you want to get discovered fast, that's where integrated Squarespace SEO tools come in. Every website is optimized to be indexed with meta descriptions, an auto-generated sitemap, and more, letting you pop up more often on search engines and attract way more customers. Squarespace also offers lots of built-in donation tools. You can create a professional, on-brand website that makes it easy to accept one-time or recurring contributions, and engage your supporters. Use built-in email campaigns and marketing tools to connect with your community and inspire more people to support your cause. Check out squarespace.com/ShayFrillis for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use promo code ShayFrillis to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Number 6. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is a great RPG. Did it change my life and reinvent the turn-based RPG genre to such a tremendous extent that it deserves to stand as one of the finest achievements in the history of video games? What? Are you insane? No. It's just, what if Mario and Luigi was more serious and more French? I did have a wonderful time with it though. The parry system is fluid and fun to master. The characters are endearing with some stellar vocal performances to boot. The presentation, from the painterly aesthetic to the gorgeous ethereal soundtrack, are top notch. And the story is quite interesting, from the initial dark premise to the moral questions raised in the second half. I don't particularly like how some of the main characters lose all their agency by the end. Like, hey, I was more invested in Lune than anyone else, so f me, I guess. But I can't deny what a rich and intriguing story about loss and grief this is. Brought to life through interesting exploration and stellar turn-based battles, which are an amalgamation of other games I've played already and are not reinventing the wheel in any sense. But hey, they're still a ton of fun. My main issue with the game though is that I just wish it was longer. The premise and the world are so damn interesting, but it feels like there could have been way more steps in the journey. Especially in Act 3, which doesn't feature nearly as much story content as I expected, and feels a little abrupt of an ending as a result. This is probably because of the limited resources this new team had though, and not everything needs to be a 70-hour epic or anything. I just feel like this story is so good that it kinda demanded that. But that's just me. Overall, I'm really impressed by what this team accomplished and how they managed to craft a nice love letter to the JRPGs that inspired them and their French culture. Granted, this game was the weakest Game of the Year nominee out of the ones I played, and it's the weakest link when compared to the previous 3 Game of the Year winners. But I'll give it this. It certainly deserved to win Best Music and Best Performance. Alright, let's move on with the list before I change my mind about having it on here at all. Number 5. Kirby, that's the name you should know. The little pink puffball with easily the best mascot racing game of 2025. Kirby Air Riders, baby! Sakurai is finally back with something that isn't Smash for once, and his insane talents and attention to detail have been put to incredible use in this beautiful evolution of his 2003 cult classic. I just can't believe how much he packed into this thing. Every course from the original Air Ride on top of some amazing new ones. And more importantly, Air Ride mode is actually fun to play now. Yeah, I never booted this shit up in the original game, but it's just way more enjoyable here. I don't know how he did it. I actually did like Top Ride in the original though. It was simple enough to be a bit of cute fun every now and then. And I'm so pleased with how much effort he put into this mode only 5 people care about. But City Trial, dude. This shit is so fun to marathon or boot up for a quick game or two in between other stuff. I'll just have 10 minutes between dinner and an event I want to go to, and I'll be like, well, time for City Trial. I don't need to explain the appeal of City Trial. If you've played it, you get it. And City Trial with online multiplayer is a dream come true. The story mode is pretty engaging for what it is, and I love what an asshole they made Nova, good lord. The character roster is a fun mix of iconic faces from across the series and random f***ass enemies. I love Starman and Rick as much as the next guy, but I think my main might be Lololo and Lalala. They're so cute, I don't know what to tell you. I like how you do a spin and you switch to the other one. Big Lololo and Lalala guy, I tell you what. The achievements have kept me occupied, and they're generally just a great way to unlock things. That other Nintendo kart racer should take notice. The custom machines are absolutely wonderful, and I love seeing what the freaks in the community cook up. There's a mode where you have a gummy version of every vehicle you defeated in a race, and you can just play around with the gummies of them, I guess. Sakurai's brain should be donated to science when he dies. Yeah, I don't know what to say, man. This is one big loving tribute to the easiest series in gaming to be a fan of. I know the gameplay won't be everyone's cup of tea, but for my money, this is a wonderful game that far outclasses the original in every respect. And I can't wait to see what Sakurai does next. It's probably just gonna be another Smash game, which is awesome, but maybe after that, he can do something completely original. Oh wait, no, he needs to make Kid Icarus Uprising 2, never mind. It's time to review Katamari Damacy! Once Upon a Katamari. Hell yeah, cousin. I don't think I've seen this on a single list of the best games of the year. Not even ones that do a top 50. And that is fucking insane to me, considering how Katamari is one of the best franchises in human history. And this might actually be the best Katamari game. I mean, I love the original, it's a close one. But dude, they just went all out with the first truly new installment in the series in so long. The time travel gimmick is incredible. The themes of these worlds and the unique goals you have to accomplish for certain levels are so funny and creative. There's a level where you have to time travel to ancient Greece and collect philosophers, who then espouse wisdom when they are sucked into your Katamari ball. How do you come up with that shit? You go the Wild West, the Ice Age, the dinosaur times, there's a pirate ship level, you have 69 cousins to collect. I like the cactus one and the horsey one. There's even an online multiplayer mode that I have not tried out because I don't have any friends who play Katamari. But the amount of value you're getting in this supreme banger installment in the series that kept delighting me again and again. I mean, it's almost too much to process. And I love how the art style hasn't really changed in the 20 plus years this series has existed, because the look of everything is just so perfect. Exactly as offbeat and quirky as I want from a game about rolling shit up into a giant ball and committing terrorism in the process. If you've never played the Katamari series, this is a great way to get into it. Please, I need someone to talk to about this series. None of my friends have tried it yet. Come on, do it, you won't. To quote the wise words of Adam Sandler in Pixels, Donkey Kong. After 11 years since his last platforming banger, one of the most iconic yet needlessly neglected faces in gaming is back, baby. Bonanza is an absolute blast, and thankfully not of the barrel variety.
It's a waste of good suffering.
It admittedly took me a bit of time on my first playthrough to really get what they were going for here, but once the incredible terrain destruction mechanics and movement options finally click, oh boy, do they click. A lot of games this year force you to think about what you're doing at any given time. Donkey Kong just tells you, okay, go. I felt like I succumbed to monkey brain as I just mindlessly smashed through everything in my path in pursuit of every last banana I could find. I'd argue this game captures the essence of Donkey Kong as a character better than any that came before it. The 2D platformers are excellent 2D platformers, and Donkey Kong 64 is pretty much just a reskinned Banjo-Kazooie game. But Bonanza is the first time I truly felt like a lovable savage ape, tearing up whatever I could find in these vast, wonderful playgrounds. There were long stretches where I didn't even think about any objectives or where I was going. All I knew is that I wanted to smash shit and get banana. It's the mark of some truly intelligent game design to make something that locks you into pure, simple fun, but also has all this structure, charm, and occasional challenge backing it up. I love just about everything here. The adorable bond Pauline and DK share, the cool transformations, especially the elephant. That's when the game really gets going in my opinion. The constant tributes to Rare's work on the franchise that don't ever overtake the new legacy this game carves out for itself. I think the villains are a great example of that. Void Kong is such a fun little gremlin who leaves a great impression throughout the 90% of the game he serves as the main antagonist for. But King K. Rool, you guys. King K. Rool. What a comeback, what a finale. My jaw seriously dropped with everything in this last portion. It's easily my favorite final act of any game this year. I really don't think it would have happened if it wasn't for Smash showing Nintendo just how large this Wacko Crocs following is. And it made for easily the best and most justified instance of the hijacked by Ganon trope. It fit the story, it's a meta explanation for his absence in the Retro Studios duology, and Void Kong still left a great impression in his own right without being diminished. Dude, I love King K. Rool. I didn't even know it was possible to love him more, but this game proved me wrong. It's hard to say if I prefer this over Odyssey, since they are different enough in execution, despite being cut from the same cloth. But needless to say, this is a game I'll be replaying so often as the years go on. Who cares if the post-game is a little disappointing, or Cranky Kong's dialogue is incredibly lazy, or DK Island and the boring Emerald Rush mode are locked behind $20 DLC. Actually, wait, no, that's complete bullshit. Guys, please don't buy the DLC. It is entirely a waste of money. I don't know what Nintendo was thinking. Great game, though. Hades 2 is, and I mean this in the best possible way, more of the same. It's not an extreme evolution of the first game, but it is an excellent follow-up that doubles the content and introduces so many great new faces from Greek mythology that weren't in the original. A lot of them are from the Odyssey, so play this if you want a pre-game for Nolan's adaptation, or if you're still addicted to Epic the Musical a full year later. There's a lot of fun interpretations here, but my favorite new character by far is Scylla. Something about her voice just tickles my brain, and I love the idea of having her headline a band. She's great. Oh, and so is Melinoe, a cool new protagonist who suits this world well, with an even more perilous and sympathetic plight than Zagreus had in the original. The story is good, until that original ending, which was so bad that they went back and patched in new story material so it made more sense. Look, I wasn't gonna knock this game down in the ranking if the original ending still stood, but let's just say I'm much more confident in its placement now. The new story stuff they added definitely made the conclusion land a lot better. And that's great, because the OG ending was kind of the only problem I had with Hades 2. This is a wonderful follow-up that takes all the great things the original accomplished and doubles down on them in spectacular fashion. Again, it's not a crazy evolution of the formula, but new Hades is new Hades. Am I gonna get on Super Mario Galaxy 2's case for not evolving the Mario Galaxy formula? No. Instead, I'm gonna say, holy shit, 2 masterpieces! Dying again and again until I got good enough to take on Typhon and Kronos with ease was a wonderful time, and I would do it all again if I had to. Case in point, I did once they patched in the better ending. Death to Kronos, for those who come after. With all due respect to Hades and Donkey Kong, it really could not have been easier to pick my game of the year. Hollow Knight Silksong blew me away on every level, shattering any and all expectations I had by delivering one of the tightest, toughest, most shockingly expansive action-adventure games I've ever played. To the point where, this game right here, you see it? This is my favorite Metroidvania of all time. I like it better than every Metroid game. And that's quite a crazy feat. You might assume I'm a die-hard Hollow Knight fan who's been patiently waiting 8 years for this game, same as all of you. But that's the kicker. I played a bit of Hollow Knight when it came out and never beat it. I deadass was not into this series for the past 8 years. I finally picked the game up again and beat it in the 2 weeks from Silksong's release day announcement to actual release. And even then, I think the first Hollow Knight is really good. Great even. I just don't know if I would call it one of my favorite Metroidvanias. And this is why Silksong is so insane to me, and why it easily gets the edge over Hades 2 in my opinion. Hades 2 was another Hades, on par with the first game more or less. Silksong is a staggering evolution of the original Hollow Knight. A far more confident game with a more robust moveset and controls, gorgeous improved art direction, some truly insane boss fights that tested the limits of my abilities, and a relentlessly intriguing atmosphere that sucked me into the world of Farloom far more than the already amazing atmosphere the first game did. I felt the need to explore every last nook and cranny of this land, fight every optional boss, save every last flea, squeeze every last bit of enjoyment I could out of this game because it sunk its nails in me like no other game this year could. Is it too hard? I don't think so. I personally felt this compulsive desire to rise to every challenge the game threw at me, regardless of how frustrating some of them could get. I'm not going to pretend every last bit of challenge in this game is well designed. Looking at you, Growl the Great and Savage Beast Fly. But every little hiccup in this game left such a minuscule impact on my overall enjoyment of this magnificent, unprecedented package. I mean, this is the second cheapest game in the top 10, and it has so much content in it. It's only $20. Team Cherry, are you guys insane? The Donkey Kong DLC costs that much. Please value your work more. But also, thank you for making it so cheap. I need to save my money to renew my Nintendo Online subscription so I can play Wario World year-round. But I'm gonna make a bold claim and say that Hollow Knight Silksong is even better than Wario World. That's the highest honor I can bestow. So wear it proudly, Team Cherry. Congrats for making what was by far my game of the year in a year that was just relentlessly stacked from top to bottom. Oh, and also, thank you for creating the best character of all time, Trobio! I hope you guys make a Trobio spinoff next. It's gonna be so lit when it comes out in 2038. Anyway, that's my top 10 favorite games of the year, plus some bonuses. Join me next time for my TV show and movie rankings of 2025 that tragically will have even less Sonic discussion in them. Thanks for nothing, Paramount. Good night, Tri-State area.